And I did buy a bunch more Cure Light Potions. I have a stack of nearly 100 now going into this, because this one is long and they have a lot of champions on Elite.
The unearthly cries of the undead fill the tomb. The Drydens have woken from their long rest and broken their sleep.
Of course, the big risk in here will be getting any Dryden ancestors that are also champions. Those guys are pretty scary, even when they're not champions.
The Sapphire Gate is shut. You will have to find a way to trace it. A plaque on the floor reads, Gerard Dryden, first of the line in the Reach.
Champion archer in the back. Yeah, but the reason I'm still doing this on Elite, of course, is that this guy self-heals to an extent, and most of the fights here are one enemy at a time. So in principle I should be able to get through it just fine. Well, other than the end fight, which is very scary, but I don't really have to beat the archers. Champion archer. I can do that, just run away from them and figure it out later. Oh. No trouble keeping my key high in here.
You hear a clatter from the hallway. The Sapphire Gate is open.
I could probably keep 2 monk buffs on rather than 1 if I made an effort here. Okay, Dance of Clouds and Walk of Fire on. Two is about as many as you can keep up, at least with the fight space like this. More than that requires a lot of care. It's distracting you from the real fight if you try and keep falling as you're running, I think. Yeah, as those champions get their hits in, they do some damage fast.
Sound from the central crypt, like ragged nails against stone.
Alright, not bad. This is a nice thing with playing a light monk, you can really get into a good flow.
The Emerald Gate is shut. You will have to find a way to raise it.
Spiders have really good saves against my stunning fist.
A plaque up on the floor reads, Gerard Dryden, brother to the flames.
And having the high HP enemies like the Dryden ancestors does make it a lot easier to get your healing from your key strikes. You know what I mean.
Hear a clap. The Emerald Gate is open.
Champion Archer. In fact, I imagine this quest on Elite is a good place to collect mysterious remnants. There's lots of enemies, but you're fighting them mostly singly, so they're not too dangerous. Now, of course, you don't have to kill everything in this quest like I'm doing here. I tend to play it this way, partly because I like to get the maximum XP from each quest, and partly because some of these do pop open and ambush you later. I don't think it's worth memorizing which ones open. I just kill everything on my way through. It saves getting larger ambushes later on. Damn, enough me ever stopped me landing my finishing move.
Turns into pounding. Something trapped inside a sarcophagus wants out.
Providing I don't get two champions in one of these ambushes, I feel fairly confident. It's certainly nice that my healing strike does extra damage against the undead. It's helping a lot.
The Topaz Gate is shut. We'll have to find a way to raise it.
Okay, this is going much more smoothly than I expected.
A plaque upon the floor reads, "This sanctum in memory of Gerard Dryden." You hear a clatter from the hallway. The Topaz Gate is raised.
My bludgeoning and my extra life point damage does work particularly well for this quest. Champion archer. I shouldn't have tripped him over there.
The hammering from Gerard's tomb grows louder and louder. It ends with the crack of splitting stone.
Yeah, having all bludgeoning damage is actually pretty handy in this quest. I'd forgotten how much of a difference that makes.
Gate is shut. You will have to find a way to raise it.
Okay, nearly completed the outer circuit here.
A plaque upon the floor reads, Gerard Dryden, guard captain and friend of the Holy Flame.
Yeah, I'm having no trouble keeping my Dance of Clouds and Walk of the Sun up at all times. Champion something. Okay, that turned out pretty well. 2 champions, that could have been trouble. Alright, nice.
Hear a clatter from the hallway. The amethyst gate is raised. From Gerard's tomb, you hear the sounds of cracking bones, gnawing teeth, and gibbering laughter.
Alright, almost clear on all the outside parts now. Alright, excellent. Did I have aggression? As indeed I should, given that I have fairly thoroughly cleared things here. Just 3 inner crypts to go, and then the end fight. Glad I bottlenecked them at the doorway.
A plaque upon the floor reads, Gerard Dryden, Sword of the Light Undying.
Champion archer in the back. Yeah, that was unwise. Went round the wrong way, woke up a bunch more. I got a bit confused there as well, and got my monk buffs in the wrong order. There we go, back to 2 monk buffs. Okay. The collectibles are actually quite worth getting on this guy. Because many of the collectibles hand in for healing elixirs. In fact, that's another thing I did between quests. I turned in some harbour collectibles to pick up 3 lesser and 1 medium healing elixir. For those occasions when I need healing and need it fast.
A plaque on the floor reads, Gerard Dryden, marshal of the militant clergy and high paladin of the flames.
You'll notice that I can only keep 2 monk buffs running when I actually have have continuous enemies to fight. If there's any gap, I usually have to drop one. And when that happens, I'm preparing to drop Walk of the Sun, since there aren't really any enemies in here that I need my saves against.
Hear a click from the direction of
I'm
Gerard.
putting it on more because it's good to get into the habit of running the 2 buffs. Right, I am indeed getting lots of remnants in here. As a result of getting lots of champions, but I'm coping with them just fine now. And this is the part where clearing the level earlier really pays off. You would get lots of sarcophagi breaking open as you made the run back here, if you had not broken them open. Not all of them though, so I have killed more than I strictly needed to. I guess I should go straight from this fight into the final fight, since I will have my buffs on. Let's do it.
A shriek of rusty metal. The sunstone gates enclosing Gerard's tomb grind open.
The other thing to be sure of is knowing where the exit is. It's straight ahead from where I am now. In case I have to run. In fact, I should have a buff on.
3 sunstones are mounted above the gates to Gerard Dryden's tomb. The shadows within the tomb shift, disturbing. As Gerard collapses, his sarcophagus shudders violently. floor reads, Gerard Dryden, the doomed bishop, may the darkness lift from thy rest.
Okay, here's where it might get scary. Let me have any champions pop out. One. Did the wrong combination of monk hits there. I quite like the fire monk move, but it doesn't really do enough damage to justify. It looks nice, but it never really does enough to be actually worth making deliberate use of. This one's doing 27, but I guess I could take henshin enhancements and then it would be quite powerful, I guess. Alright, how are we doing? Looks like it is clear now. Alright, so that went remarkably smoothly. I bought a whole stack of healing potions, expecting to need them in here, and I did not need them at all. That would be a pretty good helm if I didn't already have the excellent +5 concentration ring and that 60% fort belt that I got from somewhere. Okay, that is it for this quest. Finally get my other action point. I'm halfway to level 6, which I guess is about right, since I am halfway through the main chain at level 3. This might be the last one that I do elite at level 3 though. I will have to think about it. This one went much better than I expected, but then I've been close to death in a couple of others, so we will see.
Archbishop Dryden waits to speak with you at the top of his dais.
Alright, that's some interesting rewards actually. +2 attack and damage against evil creatures, that is very good. But only against stuff that takes the cold damage, which I don't think any of the skeletons do. It might still be a very good weapon for the remainder of the chain. I have a +2 health belt already that I can't wear because I have fortification there. Ogre power +3 is also pretty nice. That would give me another +1. Yeah, the extra +1 applies to everything. That's got to be the best choice. Okay, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching.